Hello Zimbabwe, my name is Metallica and this is another episode of Street Diaries. Only the difference today is we are not in the streets, we've taken it to the studio, and today we are joined by the National Youth Commissar of ZANU-PF, Comrade Godfrey Tsenengamu. If you recall well, Comrade Tsenengamu, Comrade Luz Matutu had a press conference whereby they alleged certain allegations against Mr. Tagwire and crew, and then they later came back on TV saying they had spoken to the political commissar, Comrade Victor Batemadanda, who then said to them he would guide them according to what they addressed the nation. But today, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Vatsenengamu makadini.
Ndinofara tete kana muchifara.
Aiwa ndinofara ndotenda nekuvaonemika mukati meshow yedu zuva ranhasi.
Ndinotenda nemukana wamandipa.
Regai ndibva ndangoibayirira mudumbu. Nyaya. Imimi, does it mean that you're now dropping my charges that you had alleged against Vatagwire and crew, Billy Rothenberg, etc., etc.?
Yeah, I think before I respond to that question, I would want to make it clear that I am no longer the National Political Commissar of the ZANU-PF Youth League. On Monday, I received a formal communication from the party that was signed for by the Acting Secretary for Administration in the party, Comrade Patrick Shinamasa, stating that the Politburo decided to strip me of my position as the National Political Commissar and also as a Central Committee member in the party. And I have now been relegated to being a card-carrying member of the party. So it has to be clear that I'm no longer in that position. So you would rather refer to me as the former National Political Commissar of the ZANU-PF Youth League. Then now coming to the question that you have raised, we still stand with the allegations that we raised against the trio of Kuda, Tafadzo and Billy. We are not backing down. Our meeting with the National Political Commissar was meant to upraise him of the developments that happened when he was not around. He had gone out on government business, he had gone out to India when the political sat down and decided to suspend us. So when he came back, he wanted to hear our side of the story. So as party cadres, since we have not yet been expelled out of the party, when a leader summons you, you have to follow that. So we went to see him and took time to explain our position regarding the fight that we are waging against corruption and what then happened thereafter. So that then mustn't be taken to be meaning that we are backing down or we are dropping the charges. We didn't discuss on how we are supposed to move with the fight against corruption, nor how we are going to be taken back into the party. That was not the subject under discussion. He just wanted to understand where we're coming from and as a commissar to try and counsel us. Because in the party, the National Commissar is more like Amai or Tete. Whenever something happens, they would try to find a way of sorting out problems that would have befallen any member in the party. So it is out of mischief that people would try to say, these guys have backtracked, they've backed down, they've gone back to ZANU-PF. In any case, we started this fight when we were in ZANU-PF. When we were Central Committee members, and in my case, I was the National Political Commissar of the Youth League. So even with or without positions, we are not backing down, and we are not even going to compromise to say, please take us back, we'll stop this fight. We are not ready to do that. That would be the greatest betrayal that we are not going to witness happening, or anyone is going to do that. So we are not ready to back down, and not even Comrade Madanda has asked us to back down. So whatever is being said on social media, those are just lies, and it's coming from people who have a hidden agenda. They are trying to interpret our message to suit their own agendas. So it's not true.
All right, Comrade Tsenengamu. All that now that you have said, because we've heard audios that have circulated, especially on social media, and it seems to be you, where I remember a certain audio where you then say, Nika ichanakirwa, tinyesha, tichaudza vanhu. Are you still saying you are ready to expose whatever that you're saying you have, now that maybe you've heard a certain understanding? Because from, I quote what you said yesterday, you then said tine zvatagara pasi tikawirira tikatenderana zvatatenderana. Mune zvamakatenderana izvozvo, are you still going to expose all of what you were previously going to expose, or there's certain issues that maybe you're going to hold back?
No, like I said, we are not going to compromise, and no one has asked us to make compromises. So our initial intentions still stand. Whatever that we intended to do from the onset, we are still going to do. And not even one will be able to stop us. Because we believe that this is a just fight. Because we have seen corruption depriving us as a generation of a normal life. So we are not going to listen to anyone to say, you must stop this fight because you risk 1, 2, 3 things. We don't care about that. So Comrade Matema Danda, for the record, didn't even say what you are doing is right or what you are doing is bad. That's not his duty. All he wanted to do was to understand what happened in absence. So he said no, he was going to engage the president, and we agreed to that. That is one of the issues that we agreed to say, okay, fine, since you have opted to engage the leadership on these issues, we don't think there is any problem with that because we still remain members of the party. So there were no other concessions except to say, it's okay, you can go ahead to engage the leadership, then come back and give us feedback on what the leadership will have said after you have engaged us.
I see. All right. I understand there's a 21st movement event going on whereby you've gathered with the likes of Pastor Ivan Mawarire, you've gathered with other youth members to have a movement of some sort. Is that still going on?
No, it's not true that we have agreed on something with the likes of Ivan Mawarire or Bestole, Jablan Swanda, and those who were put on that poster. Even myself, I was not consulted by those people who made up that poster. I think it was coming from people who were trying to take advantage of the wave that we had created through the fight against corruption for their own, out of their own motives. They know what they wanted to achieve. We are not even sure what they wanted to achieve. So I also question the motive behind putting us on a flyer or a poster when we do not agree to anything. I think that's a separate movement that some people are trying to come up with. Ours is the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Citizens Conference or Summit, like we promised the last time we had a presser. Initially we had said it was supposed to be on the 14th, but we then said, together with what we thought could be a citizens conference and trying to unite Zimbabwe to say, let's focus as Zimbabweans, because we are Zimbabweans first before we belong to any political parties. So the two that we had said maybe could be held on 14th and the 21st, we are now going to have those on the 20th of November at a venue to be advised, most only to discuss corruption. Only to discuss corruption. So any other initiative which is outside that, we are not part of it. I'm still a member of ZANU-PF, as a card-carrying member. I don't have any intentions to join any political party because I still believe that I can fight corruption all this time. I mean ZANU-PF, because I don't believe that ZANU-PF as an institution is corrupt. Yes, we may have corrupt individuals within the party, yes, but that then does not translate to say the whole party is corrupt. And the same applies to other political parties. We do not have sense. All of us have weaknesses and strengths, but we are saying let's set aside the differences and focus on the fight against corruption. So that one which was advertised as the National Youth Conference, no, I'm not the organizer and I'm not part of that.
All right, we've all heard it. I'm sure most of us have seen the flag that has been going around regarding the 21st movement of the youth saying no to corruption. Mr. Tsenengamu says no, he is not part of it. Right, moving on. Can people now then conclude that whatever happened between you and Comrade Matutu, the first press conference that you had, and now where we are, can you say it's a factional thing?
No, it's not true that what we are fighting is a factional fight. It's not true. Which faction does Billy belong to? which faction does Kuda belong to and which faction does Tafazo belong to. It's not true. These people are not politicians, except for Tafazo Msarara. He once contested in Mazua West as a member of parliament under ZANU-PF primaries. So he's the only person who is a politician. The two are not politicians. Billy and Kuda have always been in this game, even before the new dispensation. They worked with Manjuru when there was Gamma Talks, when they members of the Gamma Talks faction. They worked with the G40 before the new dispensation, and now they are working with some within the new administration. So do these people really belong to anyone? They do not belong to anyone. They don't have any loyalty to anyone. Their loyalty is where their money is. So they go wherever power is. And for your own information, they're also even dealing with members of the opposition in case power goes to certain political parties and ZANU-PF is out. So they are playing their cards very, very, very well in case of any eventuality. So they do not belong to any faction. But what they are trying to do is they are trying to portray themselves as victims, when in fact they are not victims, they are the villains. No one is persecuting them. These are not politicians. They must just answer to the allegations that we raised. And by the way, we are not going to be forced into submission through some lawsuits or anything of that sort. We don't care even if they are going to claim $1 billion or $1 trillion US. We don't care. We believe in this fight because it's a fight for a generation which is seeking a decent life, which is saying these resources belong to us. They can't just be in your hands as individuals at the expense of the majority.
Right. Wow. Okay. Tsenengamu, when you refer to yourself as we, are you saying it is you, Comrade Matutu, and Comrade Pupurai?
I'm saying we is fine. The two of us is Comrade Tsenengamu and Matutu. When we are two, we are not. It's no longer I. It's we. But I'm referring to the majority of the young people in Zimbabwe who believe in this fight. We have had some more veterans who are saying, no, we are ready to come out in the open and say, this is exactly what we fought for in the liberation struggle, that the resources must be in the hands of the majority other than in the hands of a minority. We have students who are in support of the fight against corruption. We have church leaders who are in support of the fight against corruption, and general citizens who are in support. So it's no longer a fight being waged by Tsenengamu and Matutu or Comrade Togarepi. Comrade Togarepi's crime or sin was that of coming out to say these guys are right. And that's why he was then said, no, you cannot continue to be in this position. We don't have any problems with that. So with or without positions, we are going to continue with this fight, whether we'll be taken back into our positions or not, we don't care. But what we care about is our conscience is telling us that we cannot continue to pretend that all is well when things are not well. Our people have suffered enough because of corruption, coupled with the effects of the illegal sanctions. So we are not backing down or backtracking. It's game on.
Right. I understand you, Comrade Tsenengamu. But people are now tired of we are going to tichazo zvatiri kuda kuita tiri. When are you going to actually start? If you're going to expose, if maybe there are court cases or trials that are going to go on, when are you taking off? Because it's like trying to buy your son a toy, and you keep saying, Daddy, ndiri kuda toy, and you keep saying, mwanangu ndichazokutengera, mwanangu ndichazokutengera. Unosvika pakukura mwana achingonzi ndichazokutengera, dzama ratoy iya haachazizera rokuti akwanise kuitambisa. Imimi take off yenyu muchatanga rini? Because I refer back to the audios, to the press conferences that you've done. You've come out with names of people that you claim are corrupt. You've come up with issues and stories regarding the same people. But amsatima andingati matimatanga munongoramba mongoti we are going to when? I'm sure is the big question.
No, that's okay. I think what people have to realize and appreciate is that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And that single step we have already made. So I'm not sure if it is fair for you guys then to say you have not started. We have started. We had a first presser in June last year, and the party responded by constituting a commission, which commission didn't see the light of the day, and it suffered a stillbirth. And from that, then we said, no, we cannot continue to take this as a partisan fight. Let's go out away from the party headquarters, not using our political party positions, but as citizens. Let's take this fight to the citizens, because it's a national problem which everyone must be part of. So let's go out and say to the general person in the street, here is the fight. Let's fight together, because we have not monopolized this fight. I don't think it's fair for people to say, you have not done enough. At least we have done something. And if people think that there is more that has to be done, they must also come forward. We have not monopolized this fight. We have not said others should not come in and perfect the game. Everyone is welcome. We held pressers, and we have said now we are going to have our inaugural anti-corruption conference by the citizens, and it's a first. Yeah? Comrade Matutu has gone to ZAC to make reports on some of these issues, and so we are always moving. But we understand that the frustration that people have and the big expectations that people have. But some would say, let's get into the streets, let's protest, let's do this. We have a lot of suggestions coming in, and we also have a lot of people bring in files of corrupt institutions, corrupt parastatals, and corrupt individuals across the board, from private institutions to public institutions. So we are also sitting down with the legal minds. By the way, I'm not a legal person. I was just but a politician. So we also need legal guidance from those with experience to say, how do you work with ZAC? How do you work with the Tariffs and Competitions Commission? How do you work with the police? How do you work with the judiciary? So this is all what we are trying to do. So people have to be patient with us. We may not be perfect, yes, but we are not fake. We are doing all we can under the circumstances, but I think God permitting, one day we'll be able to say God has taken us this far, and we've managed as a generation to make sure that Zimbabwe is corrupt-free and Zimbabwe is prosperous.
Okay. Last but not least, Comrade Tsenengamu, you have said people are coming to you with information regarding accusations and maybe issues to do with individuals that you've also claimed and stated. If one wants to come through to you guys, what is the procedure? How do they do it? Is there any form of communication that they need to have? Do you have WhatsApp numbers? Do you have websites? Are you on social media platforms? What is going on? How do they give you information if they do have information?
Thank you. I think for now what we have done is we have given out our numbers, our cell phone numbers. Those who want to make calls, those who want to send text messages or WhatsApp messages, they are free to use my phone number or Comrade Matutu's phone number, since we are in the process of acquiring cell phones for purposes of just getting information from the citizens who are volunteering to be part of this movement against corruption. We are also in the process of having a website and also email addresses. We have personal social media platforms. I have my Twitter handle at Godfrey Tsenas. I have my Facebook account, Godfrey Tsenengamu. I have my email, which is goditsenengamu@gmail.com, small letters throughout. Then my WhatsApp number is 0775519111. But I think in the coming week before the inaugural anti-corruption conference by the citizens, we will then be giving people the official communication platforms where they can also communicate with us. And we are thinking of finding an office, because we cannot be a movement from operating in the streets. We are seeking to have an office, but for now, I think we have resource challenges. Because this fight mustn't end with Tsenengamu and Matutu. We may be here today, not be around tomorrow. We want this fight to continue so that Zimbabweans enjoy their resources and individuals do not continue to manipulate and take advantage of them and continue to be corrupt and go scot-free. So this is it.
All right. Let me go back. Let me take you back just a little bit. The date for the conference, you said the 20th of November.
The 20th of February.
Of February. That is the 20th of February 2020.
Sure.
My last question to you, Comrade Tsenengamu. This whole thing from the nation at large, azvisizvi nepersonal vendetta here pamwe zvekuti dzanyandurana mudanga o vakuda kudya nepapapa o vakuda kushandisa vanhu or people have different perspectives because when someone is in something vanhu vanotaura haiwa vari kudya ndo vakomana vari kudyava nhasi zvazoshata zvazodii. Is this not personal vendetta?
No, it's not. I don't have any personal problem with Kuda. He has never crossed my path personally. I have no personal vendetta with Billy. I don't think he even knows me. The only person whom I know is Tafadzwa. We come from the same province. And at one point he asked me to transport his donation from his Alpha Grain Company to Mount Darwin Hospital. And that's how I know him. I was his leader in the province when I was the provincial youth chairman. And even when I was commissar, that's for Tafadzwa. We don't have any challenges. We go along very well. But all these issues that we are raising are out of realization that these guys, or maybe their organization, especially on Tafadzwa Msada's side, it's not about him personally. It's about the Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe, which we think has not been doing well, and he's the chairman. So he is responsible and he's accountable for his organization, not in his personal capacity. So it's nothing personal. And by the way, we have been accused of so many things. Some say this guy has been sent by ED to deal with Kuda because Kuda is General Chiwenga's ally, which is not true. Others would say these guys have been sent by General Chiwenga to expose ED for protecting corrupt people, which is not true. Others have come in and said these guys are CIA agents. This is how desperate our comrades are, to say because we've exposed corruption, so now we are working with America. Others have said we are now being sent by Kasukwere of the Tyson Wabantu movement. Others are coming in to say we have been sent by Muchangwa, we've been sent by Opam Chunguri. It is because we have been disturbed from Jumbo Mine, where we are being alleged to have been having some interest. Others are saying Honorable Musani, who has been displaced from Ashanti Mine by Kuda, is sending us. Others are saying we are being sent by Temba Muliso. All sorts of allegations. So I'm not sure why people would want to go to such an extent. We are not being sent by anyone. And by the way, I'm a family man. I have a family. Like right now, I'm not at home. My kids are not saying youth are happy. They are saying Baba, Babuda. So I'm not that a kid to a point that I don't know what is right and what is wrong. For me, it's about my conscience. It's like you witness someone a hit and run case on the street, and you are one of the people who are owner. It's either you choose to remain and not be part of it, or you choose to go and report to the police. And I say, no, but when you make that choice and that decision to go and report to the police, you must know that it comes with consequences. Because you always be at the police, Vachidama statements, you always be at the courts, which is we are witness, which trust one lawyers. So I said, no, whatever the consequences, I'm not going to back down. We have lost, I've lost my salary. I had a very good salary from the party as a national political commissar, deployed to the party full time. I had a Ford Ranger, a good one. All that is gone. I'm no longer a central committee member. I no longer have access to the office that I used to. I do not care. For me, it's about my conscience. I cannot continue to pretend that all is well when we know that corruption is killing us. So I don't have any personal agenda against anyone. This is about a generation which is just seeking a decent life.
Thank you, Comrade Tsenengamu. Before we go, Comrade, is there anything that you'd like to tell the people of Zimbabwe?
What I would want to say is people must not continue to look at the fight that we are waging as a partisan fight. Mm-hmm. This is a fight by us as citizens, because we are Zimbabweans first before we belong to any political party. When are we going to mature as Zimbabweans to a point of separating partisan and political issues from bread and butter issues. I'm not a saint, I am not perfect, but in this fight against corruption, I don't think I'm fake. If people are afraid of kushandiswa, fine, we're not going to kushandiswa politics, but I'm going to kushandiswa in the fight against corruption, because this corruption affects, and I don't understand how coming together to fight corruption can end up because it was a political matter that they were dealing with. It was a contestation for power and whatever. But this is about corruption. There is corruption everywhere, in churches and everywhere. How can I use the church to fight corruption? Everywhere. So apana kushandisana ina uchite ngotuno. Now we worry. Just that.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Tsenengamu. This was Street Diaries. We were joined in the studio today. We didn't go into the streets like I said before. We were joined by Comrade Tsenengamu, the former National Youth Commissar for ZANU-PF, and he had a lot to say. For more info, follow us on TechMac TV on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. My name is Metallica, and we will be coming back to you with the conference feedback on the 20th of February 2020. We will definitely cover it live. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day.